This isn't just another boxing match.
Backs it. Oh! Crawford gets up! That's down! Kovalev's down! Crawford, you can see it coming as the legs were there.
This is the kind of fight people will talk about years from now. The one where two generational talents collide and only one leaves with their legacy intact. Canelo Álvarez, the biggest star in boxing, the man who has carried the sport on his shoulders for more than a decade, versus Terence "Bud" Crawford, the pound-for-pound technician who dismantled Errol Spence so brutally that it erased every doubt about his greatness. Think about what's on the line here. Canelo, the cash king, the face of boxing, the man who's fought everyone from Mayweather to Golovkin to Kovalev. He represents power, experience, and global superstardom. Crawford, undefeated, untouchable, and unafraid. He represents skill, precision, and pure boxing mastery. This fight isn't just about belts, it's about something bigger: legacy, respect, and the right to be called the best fighter of this era. But here's the question: what happens when Canelo's size, strength, and experience collide with Crawford's timing, IQ, and adaptability? Who walks away as the king of boxing? Stick around, because by the end, I'll tell you exactly who I believe wins this fight. And my pick is going to cause some arguments. If you're betting on Canelo Álvarez in this fight, it's not hard to see why. He's been boxing at the highest level since he was a teenager. He's faced legends, survived wars, and every time people doubted him, he came back stronger. Canelo is not just a fighter. He's a brand, a dynasty, the kind of athlete who doesn't just win, he defines eras. The first thing that makes Canelo dangerous is his experience. Over 60 professional fights, multiple divisions conquered, and titles against some of the best names in the sport. He's seen every style: slick boxers, heavy punchers, counter punchers, and found ways to adjust. Then there's his chin. Canelo has stood toe-to-toe with knockout artists, and never once has he been put away. You can hit him, but can you hurt him? That's the question fighters struggle with. Add his body punching, his counter shots, and the ability to walk opponents down like a machine, and suddenly, Crawford's genius doesn't seem as unstoppable. For fans who believe in Canelo, this fight is simple. Size, power, and experience will be too much. If Crawford dares to stand in the pocket, he's going to feel a level of physicality he's never dealt with before.
If Canelo's strength is power and experience, Crawford's strength is mastery. Terence "Bud" Crawford isn't just undefeated, he's untouchable. He's the kind of fighter who doesn't just win, he dismantles opponents. Just look at what he did to Errol Spence. A fight the world thought would be close turned into one of the most one-sided beatdowns in modern boxing history. Crawford's greatest weapon is his adaptability. He can fight orthodox or southpaw, switch mid-round, and instantly change the rhythm of a fight. He reads his opponents like a book, setting traps, luring them in, and making adjustments that leave even elite fighters helpless. Then there's his timing. Crawford doesn't rely on sheer volume, he relies on precision. He hits you when you least expect it, and once he smells blood, it's over. That killer instinct is why every one of his last 11 wins came by knockout. But beyond skill, Crawford fights with a chip on his shoulder. For years, critics said he hadn't faced top competition. Beating Spence silenced some, but Canelo represents the ultimate test. For Crawford, this isn't just about belts, it's about respect, legacy, and proving he belongs on top of every pound-for-pound list. When you put these two fighters side by side, you realize just how razor-thin the margin is between them. Canelo has the edge in size, strength, and high-level experience. Crawford has the edge in speed, adaptability, and pure boxing IQ. That's why this matchup feels less like a fight and more like a chess game with gloves. On one hand, Canelo thrives when he can control the pace. He'll slip punches, cut off the ring, and force opponents into uncomfortable spots. Against smaller fighters, he wears them down until they break. If he can put his weight behind those body shots and slow Crawford down, the night could turn ugly for Bud. But Crawford isn't just any smaller fighter. He's a strategist who thrives on reading patterns. He has the ability to switch stances mid-fight, throw punches from angles Canelo doesn't see coming, and make adjustments after just a few exchanges. If Canelo thinks he can just walk through Crawford the way he has others, he's in for a surprise. The danger for Canelo is that he sometimes struggles with slick, mobile boxers. We saw it with Mayweather years ago, and even in moments against Bivol. Crawford doesn't just move, he counters, he times, and he punishes mistakes instantly. The danger for Crawford is that Canelo is the biggest puncher he's ever faced. One mistake, one miscalculation, and Crawford could be staring at the canvas. That's the risk when you step up into a weight class against a proven knockout threat. This fight comes down to one question. Can Canelo's physicality overwhelm Crawford's genius? Or will Crawford's skill neutralize the size difference? That's the razor's edge we're walking into on fight night. As close as this fight looks on paper, I'm planting my flag. I believe Terence "Bud" Crawford will shock the world and beat Canelo Álvarez. Yes, Canelo is bigger, stronger, and more experienced. But boxing isn't about who looks scarier on the scales. It's about who can dictate the terms inside the ring. And Crawford has proven time and again that he bends fights to his will. What makes Crawford special isn't just his skill set, it's the way he processes information. He downloads his opponent's tendencies like a computer. The first few rounds, he's studying you. Then the trap snaps shut. That's exactly what happened to Errol Spence, and I believe Canelo is just as vulnerable. Canelo has shown flashes of struggle against movers, against slick boxers who don't stand still. Floyd Mayweather exposed it years ago, and Dimitri Bivol reminded us that even today, Canelo isn't invincible against fighters with timing and footwork. Crawford brings both, and adds a ruthless finishing instinct that neither of those men carried. Of course, the risk is real. One Canelo body shot could change everything. But if Crawford survives that early storm, if he takes Canelo into deep waters, I believe he'll outthink, outmaneuver, and outbox the bigger man. Call it bold, call it crazy, but I'm calling it now. Terence Crawford defeats Canelo Álvarez. And when it happens, we'll be talking about him not just as pound for pound #1, but as the greatest fighter of his generation. Drop your prediction. Is it Canelo's power or Crawford's precision? Also, don't forget to subscribe if you are a combat sport enthusiast.